It's just about 7 o'clock on this Saturday, August 12th. Good morning. I'm Melissa Caen.
And I'm Julie Watts. And we want to start this morning with the latest on those fires burning across the Bay Area. One of the biggest on the western side of Lake Berryessa along Highway 128. Last night, CAL FIRE planes attempted to get those flames under control in that steep terrain. At last check, it was burning 114 acres. Authorities say at least 10 structures are threatened. Mandatory evacuations are in place for homes nearby.
This is typically a mild, typical day for the area with light winds, so that was working in our favor today to keep the fire from spreading too rapidly.
Now, as of last night, the fire was 25% contained.
And in the South Bay, crews are trying to gain the upper hand on a brush fire in Santa Clara County. It's burned about 100 acres near Morgan Hill. CAL FIRE says it has not damaged any homes at this point, but a few roads in the area are closed. VTA buses have also suspended service on Hale Avenue near the fire. At last check, it was 40% contained.
Speaking of which, outside lands, your forecast, 64 degrees today. Likely going to be cool. You want to grab a sweatshirt. You may get peeks of sunshine from time to time, but overall cool for concert goers there. Summer Jazz Festival this weekend, downtown San Jose, a different story. Very sunny and going to be mild. 82 degrees for the Summer Jazz Festival. Your full forecast coming up in a bit. Melissa, back to you.
Thank you, Julie. And now we have North Korea responding to President Trump's latest threat. In a Saturday editorial, one of the country's state-owned newspapers said, quote, the U.S. finds itself in an ever-worsening dilemma, being thrown into the grip of extreme security unrest by the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or North Korea. This is in response to President Trump's latest warning. He says the U.S. military is locked and loaded. Military solutions are now fully in place, locked and loaded, should North Korea act unwisely. Hopefully, Kim Jong-un will find another path. North Korean President Kim Jong-un has not responded, but later China indicated that if the U.S. strikes North Korea first, it would intervene on North Korea's behalf.
Later today, there will be a memorial for the cosmetologist whose alleged murder prompted a nationwide manhunt from Chicago to the Bay Area. The suspects in the case ultimately turned themselves in here in the Bay Area. Oxford University worker Andrew Warren and Northwestern professor Wyndham Latham have both agreed to return to Illinois. That's where they're accused of killing a Chicago cosmetologist last month. Police say he was stabbed more than 40 times. The suspects were on the run for 8 days. They appeared in a San Francisco courtroom yesterday.
I just want to remind everyone that he is presumed innocent.
The San Francisco District Attorney's Office says it will not be involved in the case moving forward unless the suspects take back the extradition waiver in which they agreed to return to Chicago.
Later today, there will be a rally to protect tenants in Alameda. Protesters will be gathering outside City Hall around 12:30. They're rallying in support of the Just Cause eviction protection passed by the City Council in May. The protections were recently suspended because landlords submitted a petition to reverse those protections. But some locals say they were misled into signing that petition.
In just a few hours, day 2 of Outside Lands kicks off. Thousands of fans packed Golden Gate Park yesterday. There weren't any major problems except for the lineup. One of the headliners, A Tribe Called Quest, didn't show up.
There is like their last tour and stuff. Kind of upset that couldn't get to see them.
Now the band says they had unforeseen travel issues and they are rescheduled to perform tonight at the Twin Peaks stage. Some other headliners today: Vance Joy, Empire of the Sun, and Metallica. The festival runs through tomorrow night.
And the 49ers are off to a good start this preseason. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs in their first game last night.
3rd down. Beathard, nice job, hangs in there, and then he's got Kendrick Bourne. And Bourne's going to get to the end zone. Nice move in the open field. Touchdown 49ers.
And that catch and TD from Kendrick Bourne tied up the game and ultimately helped the 49ers to a victory. New video shows the moment a semi-truck crashed over the median of a highway. This was captured in China. Police say the driver was drowsy after working 6 hours straight overnight without any rest. Thankfully, he wasn't seriously hurt, but he did get a ticket for fatigued driving. And some Orinda neighbors are not happy that their street is being used as a detour thanks to an East Bay mud pipe replacement project. The detour is at Moraga and Glorietta streets, and that is sending more cars onto Quiet Orchard Road. Residents say they were only notified the day before the street closures, and that getting in and out of driveways in the middle of all this new traffic has led to accidents and headaches. East Bay Mud has put in some speed bumps and a flagger to help residents get to and from their homes, but with thousands of new cars in the neighborhood, locals say it's not enough.
I don't see why people can't just go on Moraga Way. Okay, so they have a wait. Then if they're smart, they'll go somewhere else.
My major complaint is the road. This road is falling apart.
Now, East Bay Mud says that they still have some work to do, but hope to finish completely before school starts at the end of August. And soon you'll have a new way to communicate with your Uber driver. The rideshare company is rolling out a feature that will allow you to message your driver directly in the app. Riders and drivers will be able to give each other a better idea about where they're located or any roadblocks that may make for a difficult pickup. Uber says the new feature will be available in the next few weeks. And bears are coming out of the woods and lumbering into LA neighborhoods. Officials are warning residents to be on the lookout. Now, this bear was spotted overnight in a neighborhood along the Angeles National Forest. One neighbor woke up to a ruckus and garbage cans tipped over, while another neighbor captured the playful bear splashing around in the pool.
I called 911 because, it was in the middle of the night, want to make sure we had, the appropriate authorities to come and escort the bear.
I didn't know whether it was a bad guy or an animal.
Now, earlier this week in another neighborhood southeast of there, a bear chased a woman through her mobile home park. That bear was tranquilized and released back into the forest. Already new this morning, protests erupted on the streets of Charlottesville, Virginia overnight. Hundreds of white nationalist marchers clashed with a counter-protest group. And the marchers were reportedly carrying torches and shouting "White Lives Matter." This is a video near the University of Virginia campus. A counter group of demonstrators showed up to protest late last night. Police got involved and started breaking up the groups. The mayor of Charlottesville says he is, quote, disgusted by the display of visual intimidation. And developing now in Oakland, police are trying to piece together a death at a science museum. Police were called to the Shabbat Space and Science Center yesterday on reports of someone acting aggressively. When they arrived, they found a man's body. The coroner's office is trying to figure out what happened. And it looks like vandals are targeting Ford's rental bikes in San Francisco. Take a look at this Go Bike docking station at 15th and Folsom in the Mission. Someone splattered teal paint on it as the program has faced a tough rollout. Critics have lashed out, calling the Ford-sponsored bikes a sign of gentrification.
Well, the first pot dispensary in Lake Tahoe has officially started selling recreational marijuana, and it's already bringing in a lot of cash. The New Life dispensary is on the Nevada side of Tahoe, but it's the only one of its kind in the area. And while it is legal to use marijuana in California, you still need a medical marijuana card to buy pot here. So New Life is a popular spot for out-of-towners.
We saw, I think, over 2,000 people within the first couple of days.
I love it. I think it's long overdue. We need more taxes anyway, so it's a win-win.
Now, the recreational sales will begin here in California in January. Some very rare beer could also be coming here to the Bay Area.
That's right. Nevada may have legalized marijuana, but we have beer. And officials with New Belgium say they plan to brew the world's first Lambic-style beer outside of Belgium. Now, Lambic is fermented with wild yeast, so the brewers don't add any yeast of their own. New Belgium is buying San Francisco's Magnolia Brewing Company. They plan to operate from both locations in the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood and the Dog Patch. The sale is expected to go through next month.